Let's move on to one of the most important services. Let's stop the chat. Let's stop the chat so that we can focus on the training. So we are now starting today one of the most important services of our course, that is called as a VPC. When you attend an interview, definitely you get most of the questions on this topic called VPC. So I make sure that we all be perfect in whatever we are learning. It will be very clear whatever we are learning on the concepts of VPC. So our agenda for today's session. We'll understand what is VPC, and we also discuss about the terminologies. We should be comfortable with the terminologies like what do you mean by subnet? Okay, so we learn how can we practically create VPC, what is subnet, and what is the behavior of public subnet, what is the behavior of private subnet. All these terminologies will be much more clear for you after this today's session. So before getting into the practicals of today's session, as usual, let's have quick interaction, this time with Mercy. Mercy, how are you doing, and you're from which location?
Hi, Sonia.
I can hear you. Thank you for joining.
Thank you too for the great teaching. I'm from Canada.
Thank you. Thank you. It's very late for you now.
Yes, very late, but what can we do?
Thank you. Thank you for joining the sessions even at odd times. Any technical question?
Too. Thank you too. Yes, please. I'm taking you a little bit back on IAM. So I understand that in an organization, we are not. If I am an employee, I don't get the root user, the root
You're right.
privileges, right? So I want to understand, as an IAM user, what are my use cases? Like if I'm asked in an interview, what are my use cases? How have I used IAM? You know, it's confusing to me a little bit.
No, first point. Let's say once you get into a job as an AWS engineer, Mercy,
Yes.
do you think you will get a root user access credentials? Never. You will be never given a root user credentials, isn't it? Let's say, Mercy, let's say you have involved into EC2 team. If you are involved in EC2 team, you will have access to you will be on your name, an account, a user gets created, that's nothing but an IAM user, and you will be provided access to only one service called as an EC2, so that if you log into AWS cloud, you will have only access to only one service called as an EC2. So like this, if there are a group of 10 resources, every resource is, let's say, is responsible for taking care of one service. Every resource will be created for every resource. There will be a new user that got created. Obviously, that will be an IAM user, and he'll be provided access to the service to which he is responsible for. So that's how the clients manage their restricted permissions to the AWS cloud to their employees using the service called as IAM.
Okay. So that means if I am given privileges to have full access to S3 bucket, that way I am only accessing S3 bucket and maybe doing the functions that are needed, right?
Yes, you can access S3 buckets. If you try to access EC2, you'll not be allowed to do it. Okay, you get an error. So like this, clients will restrict a particular resource to specific service by using the concept of IAM.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. How is your learning going on?
Well, I'm really enjoying the learning. Like,
thank you.
You are doing great. Just keep up with the good work.
Thank you, Mercy. And today, as you know, today we are starting a completely new service called as VPC, which is very, very important.
Yes, I am waiting so much for this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mercy. One more interaction, this time with Nekwa.
Hi, Sonia. Good morning to you.
Good evening, Nekwa. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Just two quick questions and a follow-up of Mercy's question. My first question is, what I know a sudo means super user, right?
Okay, 1 minute.
But I don't know the difference
between
sudo hyphen.
1 minute. What does SU stands for?
Super user.
No, it's switch user.
Switch. I tried.
SU stands for switch user. It helps you to switch from one user to other user. Okay. Generally, you have to mention the username you want to switch to. Okay.
Yes.
But if you do not mention the username, by default, you'll be switching to root user. That's the concept. Okay.
Okay, one has an hyphen.
You can ignore if you use hyphen. If you do not use hyphen, does not make difference. Okay. In this
Okay.
context. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Am I clear?
I've understood. Yes, you are clear. Next question. I realized that when connecting to Linux machine, you always use PuTTY and not Git Bash. What is special with this PuTTY and Linux?
When you want to connect to Linux machine, obviously we'll be using terminals. Okay. One example of a terminal is PuTTY. One more example of a terminal is Git Bash. There are many more terminals. In fact, there are many more terminals available. But the popular terminals we generally use it is PuTTY and Git Bash. Here I am using PuTTY. You can also use Git Bash. That's okay. Any terminal you should be comfortable connecting to the Linux machine and working with it. There's no specific reason why I'm going with PuTTY. PuTTY is most preferred terminal.
Oh, okay. It's just okay.
In my DevOps batches, I use Git Bash. Okay. But you should, it doesn't make any difference as long as you are able to successfully connect to the Linux machine.
Okay. Gotcha. Thank you.
Thank you, Nekwa.
Maybe.
Yes, you're saying something. I'm sorry. Could you please unmute again? Nekwa?
Yes, I was thinking, I know we want to work as engineers. I'm just reflecting on Mercy's question. But if Mercy, for example, is recruited as an administrator,
okay,
it will be different, right?
It's almost the same. The only thing is that as an administrator, you will have access to multiple services rather than a specific service. That's all.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. It's clear.
Thank you, Nekwa. Kevin, good evening. How are you doing? Kevin, can you hear us? Could you please talk? You're from which location? Looks like some issues with your audio settings. Kevin, we cannot hear you. Okay. Safia, how are you doing and you're from which location?
Hello? Yeah,
we
hello,
can hear
Sunil.
you.
Yeah, I'm from Bangalore.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
Yes, your question,
Going great.
please.
Yeah, so my question was, if we assign administrative access to IAM user, will it become the root user?
Almost equal to root user. You can also create new users. Okay.
So I mean,
that's the advantage.
how many root users are there in one account?
There'll be only one root user officially. Okay. But as an IAM user, if you have administrator access, you can do most of the activities like a root user, similar to root user. Okay.
All right. Yeah. Got it.
Thank you.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Close to 1400 participants. Very good number. Today there was a lot of turnout. I know the importance is about, you can understand the importance of VPC. So let's get into the concepts of VPC. Stands for Virtual Private Cloud. VPC stands for Virtual Private Cloud. Let's have a quick understanding about the theory. Let's have an understanding about the theory, and then we will also make the theory simplified by looking at a practical understanding. VPC, let's try to understand the theory and then I'll explain that later. VPC is the virtual data center in the cloud. VPC lets you to provision logically isolated section of AWS web services so that you can launch AWS resources in a virtual network. If you're able to understand, that's okay. If you are not able to understand the theory, Do not worry, I'll make the concept simplified. It helps you to provision an isolated section of AWS Web Services. Okay, try to understand the theory where in which you can launch AWS resources in your virtual network. Okay, let's learn more about that. So the VPC concepts, VPC components are all about you. By this service, you should be comfortable with working with root tables. We should be comfortable with NACL. You should be comfortable with subnet security groups. Okay, you should be understanding the concept of stateless and stateful in nature. So don't worry, all these concepts we'll be learning in our session about VPC. Okay, so this is more about theory. As we know, our understanding is getting into more practicals. Once you are very clear in the practicals, you will understand the theory automatically. So let's not read out this theory. So let's more get into the practicals of VPC. Let's get into the concept of VPC. Okay, let's make the concept of VPC simplified. Using VPC service stands for Amazon Virtual Private Cloud enables you to provision isolated section of AWS cloud. What is this provision logically isolated section of AWS cloud? Let's try to understand. Okay. 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 If you can visualize, if the complete white space, whatever you're looking at my screen, the complete white space is AWS cloud. The partition which you create inside the AWS cloud is called as VPC. I repeat again. If this complete white space, if you are looking at a complete white space, if this complete white space, whatever you're looking at, is AWS cloud, then the partition which you create inside the AWS cloud, inside the AWS data center, is called as a VPC. The partition what you create inside the AWS data center is called as a VPC. It's called as a VPC. Let's try to understand more. When we learned about the first service called as EC2, when we have started learning the first service of AWS that is called as EC2, we have launched an EC2 machine. We have created a Windows machine, and we also have created a Linux machine, isn't it? We have created multiple machines. Now, tell me, where are you creating these Windows machines? When we have learned in the beginning of the session course called EC2, when we have started learning AWS by using a service called as EC2, we have started day one, we have created an EC2 machine. You're right. Day one, we have created an EC2 machine. Next day two, you have created a Linux machine. Every day we are creating few machines, no doubt. My question is, my dear friends, where are we creating those machines? Try to understand my question. Where are you creating those machines? Day one, we are creating Windows machine. Day two, you have created Linux machine, or you have created a number of machines daily. My question is, try to understand, where are you creating those Windows machines and Linux machines? The answer is right. We are creating, I hope you are understanding. I hope you know the answer. We are creating in a Mumbai region. Am I right? Where are we creating? You are creating the instances in the Mumbai region. Need not be Mumbai. You can create instances in the Singapore region. You can create instances in Sydney region. You can create instances in London region. But the point you need to understand that we are creating EC2 machines. We know how to create EC2 machines directly in the Mumbai data center. Let's experience it practically. Let's log into AWS. Let's log into AWS Cloud. I have logged into AWS Cloud. We are selecting a service called EC2. Try to understand, we are going to instances. And from here, as per the requirements, you're launching the instances. You're going to launch instances and you complete the 7-step process. You complete the 7-step process. You are ending with, you're done with creating the instances. You are right. You know how to create instances, but the point is, where are you creating the instances? You are creating the instances in the Mumbai data center. As you can see in the right side, you can see you know how to create EC2 machines in the Mumbai data center. Fine. When a client wants to create their instances, when a client in the real time, when a client wants to create EC2 machines, when a client wants to have their infrastructure on AWS, let's say when a client wants to create some 10 machines, when a client wants to create 10 machines, don't think that directly we create the 10 machines directly in Mumbai. No. If you want to create 10 machines, if you want to create 100 machines, directly creating the machines in the Mumbai data center is not the right approach. Never. Don't directly create the instances in the Mumbai data center, London data center, Sydney data center. Don't directly create the instances on the data centers. First, you create a partition in Mumbai data center. The first step, what we need to do is to create a partition in Mumbai data center. Assume this is Mumbai data center. Assume this is Mumbai data center of AWS. If Netflix wants to create some machines, if Netflix wants to create some machines in Mumbai data center, the first step what we need to do is create a partition in Mumbai data center. Once you create a partition and then create the EC2 machines, you may need 10 machines, you may need 100 machines. No doubt, create those machines inside the partition. This partition which we create in the region is called as VPC. The partition which we create in the region is called as VPC. So when client wants to create 10 machines, don't directly dump the machines in the Mumbai data center. No, that's not the right approach. What AWS provides, suggests you is that create your own partition. Create your own partition in the Mumbai data center and then create your machines inside the partition. That's the right way of approach. In the interview, they may ask you, when a client wants to decide, when a client decided to move their infrastructure on AWS, assuming the business having their infrastructure on their own data center, now they don't want a headache of managing their own data centers. They want to have their instances on AWS cloud. When a client wants to move their infrastructure on AWS cloud, what is the first activity they do it? First activity, what they do is they create a partition. The first activity, what the client does is they create a partition in they select a particular region. Assuming they have selected in the Mumbai region, first they create a partition. This partition which is created in the AWS data center, AWS region is called as what? VPC, private cloud. It's a private partition specific to your client. So I hope I'm very clear in explaining. I'm taking a long time to explain the concept of VPC. What is VPC? Don't think complex. VPC is pretty simple. Let's make the concept simplified. VPC is nothing but a partition. VPC is nothing but a partition. Partition which is done in the AWS region is called as a VPC. I hope I'm very clear. I hope I'm very clear in explaining the concept of VPC. Let's make it very simplified. Let's make it one more. I'll give you one more example to make it the concept very simplified. I want to give you one more example to make the concept very simplified. I want to buy a plot. I want to buy a plot, a piece of land, let's say of 200 square yards in city outskirts. Somewhere in the city outskirts, I want to buy a plot. So I go to that particular real estate venture. So what they do, they provide me the layout. The layout will have multiple partitions, isn't it? So this is plot one, sorry. This is plot one, this is plot two, this is plot three, this is plot four, this is plot five, plot six, plot seven. They may have 100 plots. What do you mean by plots? Plots are nothing but partitions in the area. Agree or not? So let's say if I select, if I'm happy this for this particular dimensions, I select this particular plot, and I buy this particular plot. What is plot? Plot is something like a partition. Agree or not? You want to buy an apartment. There is a tower of 100 floors. You want to buy one apartment. The complete building is divided into partitions. You will be selecting one particular partition. Let's say you are selecting some floor, 10th floor, and your floor number can be, your apartment number can be 1015 or whatever it is. So partition. When a client wants to have their infrastructure on AWS, the first thing what they do is they create the partition. The partition which is done in the AWS region is nothing but VPC, as simple as that. I hope I'm very clear. I hope I'm very clear in explaining you the concept of VPC. So what is VPC? VPC is nothing but a partition which we've created in the AWS region. Any region, if you want, you can create it in a region. The partition which we create in the region is called as VPC. Okay, perfect. I'm done in explaining you the concept of, I'm done explaining you the concept of VPC. VPC is nothing but a partition created in a specific region. Okay. So you know what is VPC? VPC is nothing but a partition. So as we now know the concept of VPC, what's there in it? Let's go ahead and let's jump into practicals. Let's create a VPC. I want to create a partition in Mumbai data center. When I say Mumbai data center, is nothing but Mumbai region. I want to create a partition in Mumbai. I want to create a partition in Mumbai. How can I do that? Look at this. Let's jump into practicals. Let's jump into practicals. I want to create a partition. It's nothing but a VPC. Okay. The name of the VPC which I want to create can be anything. I'm writing it as my VPC. This is the name of the VPC which I want to create. When you're creating a VPC, you need to provide an IP address followed with a subnet mask. I repeat one more time. When you are creating a VPC, you have to provide IP address followed with subnet mask. Example, I am creating a VPC. The IP address what I want to provide is 10.0.0.0/16. I repeat one more time. When you are creating a VPC, you need to provide IP address followed with subnet mask. IP address is nothing but 10.0.0.0. Obviously, this is IP address, and 16 is called as subnet mask. What is 16 called as? 16 is called as what? Subnet mask. Obviously, questions come to your mind is, Sunil, why are you using IP address 10.0.0.0? Is there any specific importance for this particular IP address? Second question that comes to your mind is, Sunil, why are you using the mask as 16? Any specific reason? Can I use 18? Can I use 10? Can I use 20? Can I use any number, whatever I want? All these questions will be clear once we jump into practicals. Let's go ahead and create a VPC. The name of the VPC what I'm creating is my VPC. The IP address what I'll be using in my VPC is 10.0.0.0 slash the subnet mask which I'll be using is 16. First let's go ahead and create a VPC. How to create VPC? Log into AWS. Under services, networking, content delivery. In that you have a service called as VPC. This is how the VPC dashboard looks like. Go to your VPCs. Can you see already there is one VPC? This is a default VPC. How many VPCs are there? There's already one VPC in your AWS account. Do not disturb the default VPCs. Default VPCs are used by AWS for their internal purpose. Never disturb the default VPCs. Now, what's our plan? Our plan is to create a new VPC. Our plan is to create a new VPC. Here we have an option of create VPC. Here we have an option of create VPC. What is the name of the VPC you're planning to create? Okay, the name of the VPC which I'm planning to create is my VPC. Okay. When you're creating a VPC, you need to provide IP address followed by the subnet mask. 10.0.0.0/16 is what the value I'm providing when I'm creating the VPC. Scroll down. That's it. Just two values. Don't think more. Mention the name of the VPC, mention the IP address followed by the subnet mask, and go ahead and create a VPC. I am done with creating a VPC. You have successfully created a VPC. Where can you see the VPC you have created? In the your VPCs, can you see this one is a default VPC which is not having any name. This is the default VPC which is used by AWS for the internal purpose. And this is, you can see, you clearly see this is the name of the VPC which you have created. I have successfully created a partition in Mumbai data center. I have successfully created a VPC. I have successfully created a VPC. Okay, let's explain more about this. The most important point you need to understand is, obviously your questions will be, Sunil, what is the importance of IP address? IP address, okay, I can use any IP address. Let's try to understand the importance of this value called 16. Let's try to understand the importance of this value called 16. 16 is called as subnet mask. As I have mentioned here, you can clearly see the 16 is called as subnet mask. As per AWS documentation, the maximum subnet mask value, can be 32. What is the maximum allowed? The maximum number of subnet mask allowed is 32. You cannot have more than 32. That's the maximum subnet mask value. Okay. In your example, what is the value you have used? 16 is the value what you have used. What is the importance of this 16? The subnet mask value which you use, according to the subnet mask value, the capacity of the VPC is defined. The size of the VPC, I repeat again, the size of the VPC is dependent on the subnet mask value. The size of the VPC, the size of the partition is dependent on the subnet mask. Now I'll calculate the size of the VPC. The maximum size of the maximum subnet mask value is 32. The maximum subnet mask value is 32. And what is the value I have used? I have used in my example 16. So 32 minus 16, the difference is 16. That means you should use 2 to the power of 16. So what's the value of 2 to the power of 16? We have Google for everything. 2 to the power of 16. 2 to the power of 16 is 65,536. This is the size of the VPC. This is the size of the VPC. That means the VPC which I've just now created, it can have 65,536 machines. How many EC2 machines I can create inside the VPC? I can create 65,536 machines inside the VPC. So the size of the VPC is dependent on the subnet mask value what you use at the time of creating the VPC. Whenever you're creating a partition, that is whenever you're creating a VPC, as an AWS team, you will be studying the existing infrastructure where a client is having their own data center, which we have an interregular meeting with the client. We'll study their infrastructure, how many missions they are having. Let's say they're having 40,000 missions. Okay, so then we'll create 16, that is 65,536 is the maximum VPC. So make sure that the existing infrastructure will fit into the VPC. Anyways, the size can be modified. It's not fixed, but you should be very clear in determining the size of the VPC. Got it? Let's say if I use something like, let's have one more example. If I use 10.0.0.0 slash, if I use something like 20, so let's try to understand the calc. If the VPC, if I provide a value as 20, and let's look at the calculation. The maximum VPC value subnet mask is 32, and in our example, I have, let's say I'm using 20. The difference is 12. So 2 to the power of 12 is 4096. That means 2 to the power of 12 is nothing but 4096. So when I use the subnet mask value as 20, the maximum number of EC2 machines you can create inside the VPC is 4096 machines. Clear about this? So this is how the subnet mask value will help you to determine the size of the VPC. Let's say if you provide a value as 10.0.0.0 slash 32. Okay, so let's go with the calculation. The maximum number is 32. You have provided a subnet mask value as 32. 32 minus 32 is nothing but 0. 2 to the power of 0. 2 to the power of 0 is nothing but 1. That means you can have only one EC2 machine inside the VPC. Clear about this? So the subnet mask value will determine the size of the VPC. Okay, so in our example, I have used look at, I'm using 10.0.0.0 slash 16. That means in my VPC, how many machines I can create? 65,536 machines. You may have a question, Sunil, what is the importance of 10.0.0? You can use any number. There's no specific importance for that particular series. These are private IP addresses. That means if you create an EC2 machine inside the VPC, if you create the first EC2 machine inside the VPC, the first EC2 machine may have the IP address. What will be the first IP address? It will have 10.0.0.0. If you create second EC2 machine, the IP, it will acquire an IP address 0.1. If you create one more EC2 machine, 10.0.0.2. Like this, in a sequential order, you have IP addresses. You may acquire the IP addresses according to the series which you have defined at the time of creating the VPC. These are nothing but the private IP addresses. As per the format what you provide, if you start with 10, all your instances private IP addresses starts with 10. So that's about the most important is, I hope I'm very clear explaining the importance of subnet mask. The size of the VPC is dependent on the subnet mask value what you have provided. The maximum subnet mask value is 32. Clear about this? Let's have an interaction. Shrishti Sharma. You are allowed to unmute now. Shrishti Sharma, I can see your hand raised. Your question, please. If you're not having any questions, please do not raise your hand. Nanendra.
Hi, now.
Good morning, Nanendra. How are you doing?
And now, how are you now?
I'm doing well. Yes. Your question.
No, I have only one question. What's
Yes.
the minimum subnet mask value?
Minimum value.
Yes, no.
0. You should have at least 1. Okay.
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 I have
The lower the number, the bigger the size is.
and I have one more question now.
Yes.
Yesterday we are working with Linux environment, right?
Yes.
Here we are using codes through Linux machine, no?
What codes?
I mean bash commands.
Okay.
Uh,
What commands we have used yesterday? You're
Hmm.
talking about AWS CLI commands.
Yes, no.
Okay.
If I have two laptops with Windows and Linux environments.
Okay.
Okay, now.
Okay.
If we are using Windows operating system, we are installing CLI tool.
You're right.
Is this necessary for Linux and Linux?
Yes. You should install AWS CLI tool for Linux. Okay.
That's my question.
Any questions specific to VPC is encouraged. Srinivas, Srikant Pittu, good morning. Srikant, can you hear me?
Yes, Sunil.
Yes,
Are you
Srikant.
able to hear?
Yeah, I can hear you,
Thank
Srikant.
you after a long time.
Thank you. Thank you,
actually,
Srikant. Am I clear what is VPC?
Yes, 100%.
It is a partition which we created in a particular region. Let's say in our example, we have created a partition in the Mumbai region, and your partition can have 65,536 EC2 machines. I hope I'm very clear.
Yes.
Yes.
Actually, not related to VPC. I have one query about this AWS. Actually, if you create one, this one key for the key pair for to log in into the PTR somewhere for a
EC2
Linux.
machine.
Yeah, EC2 machine. So somewhere from one machine we downloaded. So to some other extension, we want to work from the another machine. So we log in into one office and we went to some different laptop. We don't have a key now. So if you want to log in into the same, is there any way to download existing key pair, Sunil?
No. You have to carry the key pair, or you create an AMI out of it and then create a duplicate machine, and then you can work with that. So that's also possible. Okay.
Okay.
Please ask questions related to VPC because this is our context. Any questions related to VPC? Kishore Nukala, good morning.
Yeah, hi Sunil. How are you?
Kishore, I'm doing well, Kishore. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing really good.
Am I clear about
have a
VPC?
question. Yes, you're clear. And I have one question. We already have a default VPC, and
Yes.
why we are creating?
The default VPC is for AWS internal use. Okay.
Okay.
So we should never use the default VPC. When a client wants to have their infrastructure, we'll be creating VPC as per our requirement, as per the size. Okay.
Actually, yeah. When we create an account, when we create EC2 machines, those will be creating under default VPC.
Default
right?
VPC. You are right. So as you can see, we are having them default VPC. So we know today only we are learning about VPC, but all the previous sessions, whenever you are creating VPC, they are falling under default VPC. Okay. Kishore?
Okay. Yeah.
When
Okay,
you're creating
thank you.
EC2 machines, by default they belongs to default VPC, and now you know how to create our own VPC.
Okay. Thank you.
Clear, Kishore? Clear about the subnet
Yeah.
mask? What is the importance
Yes. So
of the
very
subnet?
clear.
The size of the
Yes.
VPC is dependent on the subnet mask value which you provide at the time of creating the VPC.
Yes.
Thank you. Anuj Singh.
Good morning, Sunil.
Good morning.
I'll be a bit fast. So
Yes.
this VPC is nothing but a partition which has network separated boundaries apart from MS.
What do you mean by network separated boundaries?
This is what's called private, just because it is a partition inside.
That's it. Let's make it simplified. Network associated. But the moment once we get into more components of VPC, then you will understand. how exactly VPC defined. So technically you are right. It is your own network.
Okay.
Okay.
Coming to
But
the next
let's make
question.
it simplified from a layman point of view. It is a partition which we
Got
created
it.
in a
Got it.
Mumbai data center.
Got it. So this partition is only the baseline of this partition is network only. Once we talk about creating the EC2 machines, it still shares the existing hardware and the boxes which are stacked and connected together in that particular data center of Amazon.
Yes,
Right.
you are right. You are right.
Okay. The subnet mask is nothing but the number of private IP addresses is created by automatic.
You are not by automatic. The moment you create EC2 machine, then it will take it automatically.
And
Okay.
this is a private IP.
Obviously,
Now-
because you cannot define the public IPs. Public IPs are generally provided by internet service providers. You cannot define the public IPs. So these are all private IPs of the EC2 machines.
So public
which you
IP concept
create-
will come later.
Yes, once we create a EC2 machine inside the VPC, then you'll practically experience it. Anuj.
Okay. Okay. So public IP, please take in mind. I want to understand on that. So once
No,
that
there's
comes,
nothing to understand about public IP. Okay. So for example, Anuj.
Right.
Let's get into more detail. Every EC2 machine will have two IP addresses. Am I right?
Right. Right.
Public IP and
Private IP.
okay.
Mhm.
Who will provide public IP?
The service provider.
Internet service providers. Okay.
Right. Right.
For example, if I type in my Google, what is my IP? I'm getting one IP address 49.204.1. So this is the IP address provided by internet service provider. Okay. For example, my internet service provider is Airtel. So they are providing this is IP address. If I change my internet service from Airtel to Tata, my IP address will also change. Okay. So
Right.
are you understanding? So public IP addresses, you cannot control it, you cannot define it. Are you understanding? It's always provided by the internet service provider. Private IP addresses, you are controlling it because you are defining a series, right? So
Right,
now when
series.
you create an EC2 machine, definitely that EC2 machine starts with 10.0.0 like that. Okay.
So
Got it?
how this mapping works? Will it?
What do you
this
mean by
concept
mapping
will-
works?
For example,
How does your question is how does this EC2 machine acquires the private IP?
No, how does EC2 machine acquires a public IP automatically?
You don't need to worry how it acquires. It automatically acquires. You don't need to worry about this, is it? Okay.
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
private IP, I understand that.
Yes,
it
that's
is a range mentioned, and once
Perfect.
machine is get created, it
That's
gets IP.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Please proceed.
Newton Nanduru. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Sunil. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, great.
You
yeah.
are new to AWS or you already know the AWS
Yeah,
service?
previous few more sections I listened, and I'm working a rotating shift,
Okay.
so time will not flexible to me.
Okay.
So the VPN is I have a big dots are there that VPN comes at everything. I will understood only VPN is issue.
Okay.
I
Okay. So you think once we get into more detailed components of VPC, then each and every component will be much more clear,
Yes.
Newton. Okay.
Yeah,
Now,
yes, yes,
your
yes.
question, your technical question
Yeah,
as of now.
actually here
as
we are
per-
using 10.0.0. In somewhere some people are using 172.16.0.0. In somewhere using 192.
You can, that is your
Yeah.
IP address. You can use any number. Let's say if your favorite number is, okay, 90, you can write 90 dot, okay, 0.0 dot, any
Okay.
number you can use it. Okay. So there is
that's
no
up-
specific importance for the number 10. First point. Okay.
Okay. And second one, that subnet marks you given that 16 and 20 like the same like that all 172 like 192 also same.
Yeah, you can use any number. Let's say if
No
you want
issue
to
on that.
have a private IP address, you can use some number 170.0.0.0 slash
Yeah.
any number you can use it. That's not a problem. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
That's
so
your
much.
IP address. Okay.
Yeah, yes.
Newton.
Yeah, fine.
Okay. The most important is you should be very clear in understanding subnet mask value calculation. Okay.
Okay, yes. This is
The size of the VPC is dependent on the subnet mask value, which you have used it at the time of creating the VPC.
VPC. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sunil.
So just for creating creating VPC is just 1 minute task, less than 1 minute, but the concept is taking almost close to 1 hour to understand the concept of VPC. Hema Janapaneni. Good morning, your question.
Yeah, hi Sunil. Thanks for the opportunity for like I'm really getting exposure on AWS services. Yeah. Yeah, my question on the VPCs, can we have multiple VPCs created in one region?
Yes. You can see here,
Okay. Yeah.
our AWS account is having how many VPCs as of now?
2 VPCs.
One is the
okay.
default VPC. Okay.
Yes.
The other one
Yeah.
is new. So you can go ahead and create one more VPC. One account can have multiple VPCs. Okay. That's not a problem.
Okay. Okay. And
But generally,
second,
a client will have be happy to have their complete infrastructure in one VPC. Okay.
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 Okay, and the next question is, can we access the resources from one VPC to another VPC in different regions?
That's called VPC peering. That's possible.
That is also okay. And the third question I have is, like, can we replicate the same instead of replicating? Can we leverage the VPC configurations in 2 different regions for high availability?
That's called VPC peering. So you're talking about all the concepts of VPC peering. Okay.
Okay.
That's
okay.
all possible.
Oh, thank you.
Naresh Bono. Good morning, Naresh. Your question, please. Hello. Naresh, you are allowed to unmute yourself. Looks like some audio issues at your location. Vallabha.
Hello, sir. Yes. So I have 2 questions. If my subnet mask
First one question. First question.
Okay. Yes. If my subnet mask is 16, then what will the minimum and maximum IP range I can allocate to my
1 minute. If the subnet mask is 16.
16. Yes.
That means you can see this example. The subnet mask is 16.
Yes.
Okay. That means maximum how many number of EC2 machines you can create?
Yes. Yes.
Maximum number of EC2 machines what you can create is 65,536. Am I right?
No. I mean IP ranges. I mean, if there is just
What
like
do you mean by IP range?
In the top of the screen, you write 10.10.0 and then 1 and 2 and then
1 minute. 10 dots. Let's say this is one IP address.
Yes.
Okay. Next.
Then what will my maximum range? I mean, the last 0 is my minimum IP.
What is your maximum IP address? Okay.
Yes.
If you look at this, let's say if you assume that you have created one machine, Vallabha. Assume that it has acquired 10.0.0.0. Okay. If you created second machine, it acquires 0.1. Okay. If you created third machine, it acquires 0.2. Okay. Let's say if you create 256 machines, the 256th machine will be 10.0.0.255. 255. Because 0 to 255 is nothing but 256.
Yes.
So you can have 65,000 machines, but let's say you have created 256 machines only. Okay. Now 257th machine will acquire what IP address? Tell me.
I guess the third 0 will become 1.
10.0.1.0.
No. Yes, something like that.
Not something like that. It is that.
Okay.
Because every IP address will be unique, right? One IP address cannot. This is called as octant, I think so. The last one, every digit is called as an octant. It cannot have more than 255. Agree?
Yes.
You cannot have 0.256. It's not possible. You cannot have 257, 258. The maximum number allowed is 256. So after that, next machine it will acquire 10.0.1.0.
Okay.
1.0. This 0 becomes 1. Next it will take 10.0.1.1. Okay.
Okay, so
10.0 dot
ultimately-
1 minute. 10.0.1.2. If you
Yes.
create one more set of 256 machines, then it will be 10.0.1.255.
Yes, yes.
Next, it will take what series?
10, 0, 2, 1.
2.0.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Like this, it acquires series one after the other. Am I clear?
Yes. So ultimately it will become 11.0.0.0. I mean,
It will-
if all my
Maximum 65,000 machines you can have it. Okay.
okay.
Do you understand? So
Yes,
for
I-
one set is having 255 with 0 series. With one series, you will have one more 256 machines.
Huh.
Okay. With two series, you will have one more 266 machines. Even this value can have 10.0.255.0. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. So 255 into 256 into 256, those many number of machines, it is possible. Are you understanding? Got it?
Yes.
So those many number of permutations and combinations are allowed. Okay, that's not at all a problem. Am I clear in answering your questions, Vallabha?
Yes, sir. Just one more question.
Yes.
Also, can you explain the relation between subnet mask and the size of VPC once again? I mean, if we declare 16, then we are allowed for another 16 size. Okay.
No.
And
If you declare,
if there is a 16 subnet mask, then we can go for only another. I mean, the space will become 65,536.
if you provide 6 subnet mask value, look at this.
Yes.
If you provide the 6 subnet mask value as 16, the size of the VPC is 65,536.
Yes.
Okay. If you provide subnet mask value as 17, what
Huh?
will be the size? Can you guess?
It will reduce. It will reduce. I mean,
Do you know the
power-
calculation?
Yeah, 2
32
power
minus 17. The value is 15.
15. Yes.
2 to the power of
15.
32,000.
736.
Okay, so this will be the size of the VPC. Yes, your question please now.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. My question is, why we restricted this? I mean, if there is only 16, or if you are providing 16 as in subnet mask, then it is.
Then you can have 65,536 machines.
But as we increasing subnet mask, then why is my
That is the calculation. Let's say if your client is having 90,000 machines.
okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
Assuming Vallabha, if a client is having how many EC2 machines?
90,000.
90,000. So definitely 16 is not sufficient. Okay. Then what
Yes.
you'll do? Go for 15.
Yes.
Okay. So in that
Yes.
case, what you'll do? Maximum number is 32. The value what you have provided is
15.
15. What's the difference?
A lot. I mean.
17.
Yeah.
32 minus 15 is 17. Am I right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
17. 2 to the power of 17 is how much? Okay.
Yes.
131,000 machines your client can have. Okay. If you provide the subnet mask value as,
Okay.
if you provide the subnet mask value as
15,
the
15.
VPC size will be 131,000. Are you understanding?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes,
if the client is having 2 lakh machines,
So I'll definitely go for subnet mask like
lesser,
less
more
than
lesser,
15.
more lesser. Okay. Are you
More or less,
understanding?
Yes.
More lesser the value, the more size of the VPC. Let's say if you provide a subnet mask value as 10, are you understanding?
Yes.
If the subnet mask value is 10, the maximum number is 32. You are providing a subnet mask value as 10. The difference is what? 22.
22. Yes.
2 to the power of
22.
Sorry, 2 to the power of 22. Units,
Such
hundreds,
12.
1,000, 10,000, 1 lakh, 41 lakh EC2 machines, 419,000 machines you can have it.
Okay.
Are you understanding?
Yes.
No clients
So-
will have these many number of machines, but it's still
Yes.
possible if you provide a number as 10. Okay.
So basically, we are restricting. I mean, temporarily restricting the size of the VPC. Temporarily.
When you are creating VPC, you have to define the size as per the
Yes.
AWS documentation. You
Okay.
cannot say that I want to have a partition which is unlimited. That's not possible. When you are
Okay.
creating a VPC, you have to clearly mention to AWS data center saying that I want to have these many number of machines. That can be possible by determining the size of the VPC. Okay.
Okay. I get
Am I
it.
clear?
Yes, sir. Totally.
Vallabha,
Thank
did I
you.
answer your questions?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Qayyumuddin. Qayyumuddin, good morning. I can see your hand raised. Could you please unmute yourself? Qayyumuddin, any questions? I can see your hand raised. Rakesh Monga, how are you doing?
Thanks, Sunil. I'm fine. Just to add up in the class, what Hema has asked you, if you permit me to allow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I want to share that maximum 5 VPC we can create in the one region.
Okay.
As per the AWS.
As per the documentation, one AWS account can have maximum 5
VPC in a one region.
Generally, client go ahead with creating one VPC specific to one region. Okay. Generally. Okay.
And one more to add, if it is beneficial, 200 subnet in the one VPC.
Okay.
And total 1000 subnet in the one region.
Okay.
And
anyways, we have not introduced the concept of subnet. They may not understand.
Right.
But thank you for the information. Okay.
And the question is already been cleared by just now the previous discuss you have given us. If we have 1 lakh, then we go for the 2 raised to power 15.
Yes, perfect.
That was the question.
So when the client wants to move the data center to AWS, Rakesh, first we study their existing infrastructure. We'll ask them how many machines they are having. So according to that, we'll define the size of the VPC. Much bigger VPC, better to create it so that we'll not have any issues in future. In case if they increase the number of machines also, that's not a problem. Okay.
Right. Thanks.
And billing happens not based on the size of the VPC. Billing happens only when you create EC2 machines inside the VPC. If you create a VPC and inside the VPC, if you're not creating any EC2 machine, you're not billable. Okay. You will get bill only when you create infrastructure inside the VPC. Just creating a partition, you will not get the bill. Okay, Rakesh?
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Manju Kokane.
Hi, sir.
Good morning.
Morning. Actually, I have a question not regarding my VPC. I'm working on actually an AWS with.
You're already working.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Deploy blockchain on the AWS environment. So
Your client is implementing blockchain on AWS.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have issue to disconnecting the network completely from the EC2 instance. So is there any way to disconnect?
You can do that if your VPC, if your EC2 machine is inside your own VPC. Okay. So did you create the EC2 machine in your own VPC?
Exactly.
So in that case, you have to have that EC2 machine inside the private subnet. When you create EC2 machine inside the private subnet, it will be completely disconnected. Okay. You have to know about the concept of public subnet and private subnet. So you have to wait for a couple of sessions, Manju. Okay.
Okay. Sure, sir. Yeah, that's it from mine. Thank you so much for the unmuting me. Thank you.
So you already know Manju AWS, or is the first time you learn?
Actually, I started working in depth of the AWS concept. I don't know. So recently, from last 1 month, I started working on it.
Okay.
And your sessions are really helpful for me.
Thank
and
you.
I'm going through all your recordings. And thank you so much, sir.
Is that helping in your work experience?
Exactly. I'm like thoroughly understanding the concept, like what is AWS and how we need to use it. And the way you explain the concept, it is very much clear.
Okay. So you have to more focus on VPC, because VPC, when you're working with AWS, definitely the more components, understanding of each and every component will give you more confidence. Okay. So next 3 sessions are very important, Manju. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
The next 3 sessions are very, very important, so that you'll more learn about the components of VPC. So you're done with creating a VPC. So I don't want this partition anymore. I can delete the VPC. Okay. Select the VPC, whichever you want, and actions. There's an option of deleting a VPC. Yes. So I have now deleting the partition in the Mumbai region. The partition is no more available. Okay. So VPC is as simple as that. Just creating a partition in the AWS region is called as VPC. So just understanding one term has taken approximately 1 hour time to explain you the concept of VPC. We have to be comfortable with the terminologies called subnet and what is public subnet and what is private subnet. So these topics will continue in tomorrow's session. So tomorrow's agenda is to understand the term called subnet and understand what do you mean by public subnet and what is meant by private subnet. Very, very important from the interview point of view. Please do not miss any session related to VPC. Thank you all. I hope you have enjoyed the session. See you tomorrow at same time. Bye, everybody.
Sir,
Yes.
hello. Can I ask you something? It's
Yes,
Vallabh.
Vallabha. Yes, Vallabha.
Actually, I just remembered that 1 month ago, I gave one interview and they asked me to perform one task.
Okay.
Actually, I was at that time I was new with the AWS, but I knew the concept. So they gave me the task like create 2 servers. And the both servers must be communicate with each other, and the servers must be must be Windows 16 servers, nothing else.
Okay.
So I just triggered that and the both servers must be communicate with each other.
Okay.
So I got stuck on that point. Else, I created 2 servers as usual and with the image, but they told me they must communicate. So I know how to communicate with client as in normal OS like Windows 10 to server 16.
Okay.
But at that time I didn't know how to communicate Windows 16 to server 16 to another server 16. So I just triggered that I should have created one VPC.
Yes.
And then I should have created 2 server within it, and then I think it get communicate with each another.
Yes, you're right.
Shit. Sorry,
because you have not completed the AWS, probably you are unable to do it. Once you complete this course, you'll be able to do it. Okay, that's not a problem. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. I hope you have enjoyed the session. See you tomorrow where we'll continue VPC. Bye, everybody. Thank you.